Hey, welcome to this special program. My name is Tim Shurr, and we are talking today about the 11 hidden barriers that keep high achievers stuck and how to cultivate your business, how to scale it. Well, I'm going to try again. Here we go. In three, two. Hey, it's Tim Shurr here. Welcome to this much needed program for high performers. The title of this presentation is called 11 Hidden Barriers That Keep High Achievers Stuck and How to Scale Your Business While Cultivating Inner Peace. It really answers the question of why am I doing everything right, but still feel like I'm not making the progress that I want? Why am I still struggling even though I've had all of this success? How come I have got to a certain level and I can't seem to get to the next level? How come I have gotten to the next level and I'm still not feeling fulfilled and happy? This is a problem that high achievers are struggling with that nobody's talking about. So this is a very important program. So let's go through it very quickly because I know that you're busy, you're in demand. So let's jump to it. All right. So I'm a high performing entrepreneur like you. I've run a successful business for the last 30 years as a celebrity hypnotist and a top executive coach. You too are a high achiever. You've built something incredible. You've overcome obstacles and you've outworked everybody you know, right? But you still feel like you're spinning your wheels, working so hard, but never getting to that next level of success that you desire. Or perhaps you finally have created financial independence, but where's the inner peace? Where's the security that's supposed to be there, right? What the heck? So you've read all the books, you've hired all the coaches, and you're still feeling like something is missing and you don't know what it is. And you've been trying to figure it out and it feels like a mystery. It's frustrating. So we keep thinking, why is this happening? What are we missing or what's wrong with me? So I've been trying to answer those questions for myself and for my clients for the last 10 years. And after working with thousands of high achieving business owners, I discovered that there's 11 unconscious beliefs that cause this feeling of being stuck. And I call it this cluster of unconscious beliefs. I call it achiever syndrome. Now, these mostly unconscious beliefs control how you view life. They influence every aspect of your day, from your self-talk and how you make business decisions to how you prioritize your time, your health, your family, your marriage, right? So by the end of this very brief masterclass, you're going to recognize these sabotaging paradigms so you can begin rewiring your subconscious mind to overcome achiever syndrome so that you can finally have what you really want, which is the wealth, the fulfillment, and the freedom without being told that you have to hustle harder or you have to sacrifice more of what really matters to you. That's one of the big problems that we struggle with. Where's the end of it? When do you finally get off that never-ending hamster wheel? So imagine that you are a high-performing race car, right? But you have this parking brake on in your brain and you don't know it's there. Now imagine how much faster and farther that you could go if that brake wasn't on anymore. My job is to help you remove the unconscious brakes so you can experience more of what you really want, more of what we all really want as high achievers, freedom and inner peace. Now, what is achiever syndrome? I call it achiever syndrome, and I think it's this relentless drive to accomplish more, fueled by the unconscious belief that your net worth determines your self-worth. Like, as long as you have a certain number in mind for what you need to have, you're okay. But if that number feels threatened in any way, all of a sudden we start freaking out. Now, high achievers with this mindset often feel like they must keep pushing, even when they're exhausted or they're disconnected from their loved ones, or they're unsure if they're on the right path, or we feel like we're letting everybody down. When I'm with my family, I feel like I should be working. When I'm working, I feel like I should be with my family. And it's just stressful. Like, I had a lot more hair 30 years ago when I started this journey. So what drives achiever syndrome? Limiting unconscious beliefs that make us feel like we're not good enough or successful enough. And it causes us to feel trapped in overwork, perfectionism, constant motion, right? Without ever really attaining that deep satisfaction or inner security that we wanted in the first place. So let's get to it. Here are the 11 unconscious beliefs that create needless emotional suffering in high-performing business owners. 1, if I slow down, everything's going to fall apart. This belief creates a cycle of overwork and burnout. Even when you know you should rest or make time for fun, you unconsciously resist it because you associate slowing down with losing momentum, with FOMO or potential failure. Literally, I know people that are worth millions of dollars and they can't relax on a vacation. It feels unsafe to let go and relax. Number 2, success equals struggle, right? Watch YouTube motivational videos. They'll tell you that baloney all the time. Deep down, many high achievers believe that success must come at a high personal cost, or even feel guilty about having the wealth that they have. If things start to feel too easy, We start to self-destruct, we add unnecessary complexity, or we just keep raising that bar higher to justify our accomplishments. Number three, if I'm not making money, I'm not valuable. This belief turns work into an addiction. When you associate pleasure and pain to something, it becomes a compulsion. Even when you have enough, you still feel restless, like you should be doing more. If you've ever been up at 3 a.m. feeling like you should get one more thing done, when does it end, right? After you've had 37 Red Bulls and I mean, come on, right? And I know so many high achievers that are just living on nicotine and supplements and Diet Cokes because they feel like they just have to keep going. And this keeps you chasing more money, thinking that it's finally going to bring me that peace that never comes. This fear is often driven by another secret, deeper hidden fear in your unconscious mind that what if I run out of money? If I stop, I could just run, I could lose it all, right? And many high performers that I've worked with did not come from money and they never want to go back to that. Or they've lost a lot of money or even went bankrupt, even though they built it all back. That lingering fear is there, which keeps them in constant perpetual motion, even when it's ruining their health or their marriage. Number four, I have to do it all by myself. Now, you may say you believe in delegation, but you still struggle to fully let go, right? It's because you fear others won't meet your standards, or worse, they'll betray you, they'll abandon you, they'll let you down. That might have happened before. Now it's messing with you. This prevents you from building a truly scalable business that runs without you, right? So, and then we have these limiting achiever syndrome beliefs like, you can't find good people. I don't have time to train people. People are lazy. Or the biggest one is I can't afford to hire anyone right now, which just keeps you bottlenecking your own growth. Number five, I can't trust others or God with my success. Many high achievers don't believe in God, or they believe in God if it's convenient for them or when they're really stressed out. What they're secretly doing is trying to make themselves God, right? I just have to rely on myself. I can't rely on anybody else. Because high achievers like control because we're afraid. We don't think of ourselves as afraid. We think of ourselves as fearless and confident and pushing the edge. But where does all that drive, that anxiety come from? It comes from fear. So if you've always relied on yourself to create security, it's hard to surrender to a bigger plan. You may intellectually believe in God's plan, but still operate as if you are the only one who can make things happen. And it sabotages our peace of mind. Number six, I should be further along by now. This belief keeps you in constant dissatisfaction, no matter how much you achieve. Instead of feeling gratitude for how far you've come, you focus on what's missing, always what's missing. Yeah, I did all this, but what have I done today, right? Making it impossible to ever really feel fulfilled. In fact, we get these ideas that if I feel fulfilled, I'm going to be content. And people who are content lose it all, right? Just layers and layers of unconscious self-sabotaging beliefs. And we don't like to believe that beliefs are messing with us because we are experts at mindset, right? We've done all the work. We're experts at this. But still, when I start working with the highest achievers and they're feeling stuck, it always comes back to beliefs. That's why I always say you're one belief away from having your next significant breakthrough. So, we get this idea that, but I should feel fulfilled. Won't that cause me to become content rather than reaching my full potential? We just are always afraid of letting go. But operating from a state of fulfillment only creates more of that, right? And operating from a state of never having enough just makes you feel like you never have enough. Ask Sisyphus. Remember that guy who was punished by the gods in the Greek tales because he wanted more power and he never felt like what he had was enough. And now he's condemned to roll a stone up a hill and it just rolls right back down. And he has to do that for eternity, right? That's achiever syndrome at its best. No matter how many times you roll that rock up that hill, it just rolls right back down. And we got to get ourselves out of that rat race. Number six, I should be further along by now. At my age, I should have done this and this and this. Tony Robbins was a millionaire at 18 years old. And then Tony tells a story about he saw this millionaire that was 12 years old. And then it made Tony feel like he wasn't good enough. If you want to suffer, just compare yourself to others. Now, this belief that I should be further along by now, this belief keeps you in constant dissatisfaction, no matter how much you achieve. Instead of feeling gratitude for how far you've come and what you have accomplished, which is so impressive, you feel like, yeah, but this is what's missing, making it impossible to feel that fulfillment. So number seven is I'll finally be happy when. This is the classic achiever trap. You believe happiness, peace, or security is just on the other side of hitting that next goal. But every time you reach it, you push the line forward. It's like that line of I'm supposed to be happy now gets pushed And then it's like you're constantly chasing, constantly chasing. It's like a carrot on a stick. Number 8, if I succeed at the next level, I'll lose something important. That's what we call the fear of success. This is a hidden fear, right? You may say that you want to scale, but deep down you associate bigger success with more stress, more responsibility, more sacrifice, even imposter syndrome. You might feel losing control, or you lose your marriage, or you lose your health, or you're going to lose your freedom if you just keep growing it and it's so busy and more employees and more work and more clients, especially if you're trading dollars for hours. I get 50 more clients, but now I got to take care of 50 more clients, right? So you unconsciously start to feel overwhelmed. Then we self-sabotage, we procrastinate, we get stuck in this cycle of almost breaking through, and then it doesn't happen again. It's like build it up, it falls down. You build it up, it falls down. Right? Number 9, I should be able to figure this out on my own. High achievers pride themselves on their intelligence and problem-solving skills. You've probably built your business by outworking and outthinking everyone else. But this belief keeps you from seeking mentorship, collaboration, or surrendering to wisdom, which means that you stay stuck trying to think your way out of these problems. And it's just so frustrating, right? We need a new way of doing this, a new way of feeling calm, a new way of feeling peaceful, a new way of feeling at ease. Number 10, speed equals success, right? We say that all the time. Money loves speed. However, if you're always moving too fast, you're not slowing down and you're not communicating, which is a big problem for high achievers, right? We make a lot of mistakes because we don't slow down on the front end. We're like, instead of ready, aim, fire, we're like, fire, fire, fire. And then we'll clean up the mess as we go along because that's what I was told to do on YouTube, right? So you believe moving fast is the key to winning. So you jump from idea to idea, pivot too soon, and you don't let strategies fully develop. You tell yourself you'll just be adaptable. But in reality, we're avoiding discomfort. The discomfort of waiting, refining, or staying committed to a long-term plan because it feels like we don't have momentum. We're not about being happy or sad. We're about progress and momentum. And if we don't feel like, Shark Tank, sharks are always moving, right? If they sit still, they drown, they die. That's what we feel like. If we're sitting still, we're dying. But what happens to mindfulness? What happens to quiet reflection? What happens to prayer? What happens to meditation? What happens to inner peace? You don't have it because you're not slowing down enough to have it. And number 11, getting feedback, being controlled or judged. You don't like slowing down to consult, explain, or listen to you feedback, even from those who are invested in your success. That's why you sometimes fight so much in your marriage. If you are in a marriage, maybe you're divorced, right? Deep down inside, there's this fear. You don't like to be told that you're wrong, or you don't like for someone to control you, or you don't want to have to defend your decisions instead of just getting it done, right? And so, we want to power through things solo, and it creates this unnecessary friction, additional work, frustrated partners, right? And or employees because you keep changing the plan every day, and they don't know what to do or how to succeed, and you don't have time to coach them to success. And then everybody is just overwhelmed, burned out, and frustrated. Right? That is the problem. So we just covered 11 unconscious beliefs really quickly that silently keep high achievers stuck. Working harder than they need to, chasing success without lasting fulfillment, and feeling like no matter how much you accomplish, something is always missing. But awareness is just the first step. So now it's time to rewire these beliefs so that they can work for you, not against you. If you turned around each of these 11 beliefs, then you would start to experience a tremendous amount of inner peace. And that's what we want, right? We want a tremendous amount of inner peace. So if you're ready to break free from that cycle of overwork, stress, or never feeling done without slowing down your ambition or settling for less, because we always think it's either or, and it can be and, right? It can be and. We just have to play by a different set of rules than we're operating from right now. Okay, so I invite you, if you want to go on this journey with me and continue, then just take the next step. I've got an upcoming live training on overcoming achiever syndrome, and you should check it out, right? The next level of success doesn't require working harder, hustling more, finding another marketing strategy. It's about upgrading the mental operating system, running your business, relationships, and your mindset. And that's precisely what we're going to do in my upcoming training called Overcoming Achiever Syndrome, how to scale without stress. In this exclusive live session, I'm going to walk you through the exact process to identify the unconscious patterns still holding you back. We're going to shift from survival mode to a scalable, stress-free success model. what I call is shifting from playing not to lose to playing to win, right? And then align your faith, your business, and your personal life so that you don't have to choose between them or your sanity. I believe in strengthening our relationship with God using hypnosis, the one belief away hypnosis method, to retrain your brain, using AI to cut your workload down by 90%, and then being surrounded by other high performers who understand what you're going through. Because if you're not a high performing business owner, you don't understand the unique pressures that we constantly are going through. So you can reserve your seat now. Zoom seats, it's on Zoom, so they're limited for these live sessions. So grab your seat today by clicking the link below. If you're tired, or maybe it's over here, if you're or over there, wherever it is, if you're tired of the same hyped up advice, endless marketing circles, and time wasting pitches, then put this event in your calendar now and plan on attending for something totally new. We don't need another webinar, but we do need a new way of getting what we want and feeling peaceful. So you're going to get a tremendous amount of value from being in that virtual room with us. I promise you, just by being in the room with us, you're going to feel a greater sense of peace and joy. So go ahead, click the link, reserve your seat, and I'll see you there. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you soon.